Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Ask a Recruiter Anything. My name is Acting Sergeant Good. I'm just rejoining in on this live stream. Looks like we had some tough technical difficulties earlier. So we have Constable Dylan Young here joining us today. He is out of the East Algoma Blind River Detachment. He's agreed to come and talk to me today about why he chose the OPP, a little bit about training, and just kind of talk about the recruitment process and what it was like. So, Dylan, if you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself, I know you did a little bit earlier, but we'll get started again, and just tell me about who you are and what brought you to the Ontario Provincial Police.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Constable Dylan Young. I've been with OPP for about a year now. I've been on the road for about 6 months, and prior to this, uh, post high school, I went to college for police foundations for 2 years, and then I took an advanced police studies program for a year after that. After that, I worked in security for a couple of years, and then I got hired on as a correctional officer and worked as a provincial correctional officer down south in Milton. I did that for 3.5 years and gained some good, valuable life experience, and then decided to apply to the OPP and was fortunate enough to get hired. Part of the reason why I chose the OPP is, in my opinion, it's a great professional organization. I've always wanted to be an OPP officer. My uncle was an OPP officer for over 30 years, and I always looked up to him, as well as talking to other friends and family that are a part of the OPP. I've always harped on how great of an organization they are and how many opportunities there are within the organization. And that's something that I was really interested in, that you can live anywhere in the province as an OPP officer, and you're going to meet people from all walks of life and cultures and backgrounds and diversities. And I thought that was a great opportunity for myself. I had lived in Guelph my entire life till just last year, and I wanted a new experience and to go somewhere different and meet a bunch of new people and get new experiences in life. So that was one of the main reasons that attracted me to the OPP. As well as it's got a great reputation for just being a professional, well-run organization. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I love that you were willing to go for an adventure and
Yeah.
head to the Northeast region, and
Yeah.
you landed in East Algoma Blind River. That's awesome. It's a great place to learn. I'm sure you've had lots of different calls for service at your current location. You're right on the north shore of Lake Huron, right on the 17 corridor. Plenty of opportunities to work at different detachments, being in a cluster of 3 different detachments, East Algoma with Elliott Lake and Thessalon. It's a great spot. So I love when you talked about the different careers and jobs that you had before you came on with the OPP. You had mentioned, I think you said security, you had mentioned corrections. So you came with a lot of experience and special skills that have helped you on the road working as a police officer, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think those were great experiences and were a great building block for me to be prepared to be a police officer. And yeah, I think it was great work experience, life experience, and whatnot. So
Okay, so the question everyone really is wanting to ask you, I'm sure, is what is it like moving from a place like Guelph to a place like Blind River?
um, it's different. It's a bit of a culture shock. I'm definitely a city boy for sure. But I enjoy it. Like I've loved it this far, and one of the main attractions for me was property is so much cheaper up here. Like I sold my condo down south, and I can afford a place twice as nice up here for cheaper. So, but as for it's just different. People are more laid back. It's a friendlier environment up north. I find it's less hustle bustle. So I've really enjoyed the change. It was definitely a bit of a culture shock for me to begin with. Just the furthest I had been prior to this was Sudbury, so I had never been this far north until I was posted up here. But overall, I've really enjoyed the experience, and just there's a ton to do. If you're an outdoor person, there's so much to do up here. If it's fishing, hunting, or going for hikes, or there's lakes, and Lake Huron is a 4-minute walk from where I live right now. So yeah, I couldn't be happier with where I was posted with the OPP. So
That's awesome. And it's 5-year duration.
yep.
Are you planning right now or on staying there maybe a little bit longer? I know you've been in Blind River for how many months? 6
Uh,
months?
yeah, about 6 months. So currently that's the plan. I'm not sure. Obviously, it depends on what happens the next 4 or 5 years. If I meet a significant other and they want me to move somewhere else, I might have to. But currently, I'd love to stay up here. So
Awesome. So, working in Blind River, first of all, you were in Guelph, from Guelph to Blind River, what, like 7 hours or so,
yeah,
the
about
drive?
six and a half with good
Okay.
weather. So
So
yeah,
you leave in the morning, you get there around lunchtime or a little after lunch for friends and family to come visit, not too far from the south. So that's great.
yeah.
How did you find training? Let's talk about the recruitment process, going through your training, going to PPA, going to OPC. How was that for you?
The recruiting process was good. It was stressful and it was very fast paced. Yeah, so I'm just trying to remember the stages of the hiring process right now. I think it's your initial It feels like a lifetime ago. I apologize.
It's okay.
But
So you put in your application online.
yeah,
Everything was online for you, correct?
yeah, it's all online now, which is great.
Perfect.
Yeah, you put in your application, and then I believe is they send you a request for an interview.
Yep, and
Or yeah,
your physical fitness would be just before that. So that'd be your shuttle run, hitting that level 7,
yeah.
going to an in-person or sending a video in on YouTube. Did you go to an in-person or did you send a video in?
I just sent the video in. I went to a park nearby and had my brother record it and measured it all out, made sure it was all up to spec. So yeah, you submit the shuttle run video, and then I think after that they contact you for an interview. Um, Successful in the interview process, and after that, I believe it's the background um, investigation. With the background, I think they require you to provide, I believe it's 8 or 9 references. I think it's 9 references. They want 3
Mhm.
work, 3 school or mentor, and then 3 character references as well. And the background investigation, it's a good process. I had a great background investigator, and then after that, I'm just trying to remember, is it
Your psychological testing and then final
psychological?
offer would be
Yeah,
after that.
yeah. Do the psych and then final offer. So the recruitment process and hiring process was great. I really enjoyed it. And obviously, it's a little bit stressful when you're being interviewed for anything. But yeah, I thought it was a great process, and yeah. So
Awesome. So then let's bring it to the Provincial Police Academy. So you got an offer of employment. Was Blind River the first place you were offered, or were you offered another place
Blind
for that?
River was the first place I was offered, and I accepted. And then, so you receive your offer. They let you know when to report to PPA for your recruitment orientation. I believe I was up there for, I think it was a week and a half. They do the in-person orientation. You get all your gear, you meet everybody, um, and they walk you through of what the next 6 months is going to look like. Um, they send you home, and you begin your online OPC portion prior to going to OPC. So I went to Aurelia for pre OPC was in November, and then did the online um, pre OPC in December, and I think I started at OPC in the end of December, start of January area. Um, Once you've completed that, they send you off to OPC. You're there for approximately 2.5 months, um, and it's a pretty full schedule. Um, yeah, there's some days that you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're not done lectures or presentations until maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night. So you work on your time management skills, and there's definitely some mornings you're waking up pretty exhausted, but it was the OPC was probably one of the best experiences that I've ever had, and I've made some lifelong friends as a result of it, from the OPP and from other municipal services. Um, Is there anything else OPC you want me to touch on before moving on?
So yeah, at OPC, you're in a class with all different municipal services from all over Ontario. You live in a pod with how many other people were in your pod? I don't remember how many people were in my pod. How many? There's maybe like 8 or 10 rooms total in a pod, upstairs,
Yeah.
downstairs, share bathrooms,
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
It's dorm style living. So I had 5 in my pod, but generally it's between 8 and 10 constables that are in your pod. And you're all in the same group together. So all your classes are with your pod mates, and yeah, it's a fun time. Honestly, I loved OPC. So
That's awesome. And then, so you graduate OPC, you do March Past with your whole class.
yeah,
And with your large class with people from police officers from all over Ontario, and then you go back to PPA after.
yeah, yeah.
And how was your experience after at PPA?
After PPA was great. They'll put you, all the OPP recruits and the Indigenous services all go into O'Grady, and yeah, you have classes. Normally it's anywhere between 7 or 8 to 4 or 5:30 in the afternoon. We had incredible instructors. Really enjoyed the people that were teaching us, and yeah, I really enjoyed the PPA process, and it was a great learning experience overall. So
Awesome. So then you graduate from PPA and you become an Ontario police officer, and you get your wallet with your badge, and then you get sent to your detachment wherever you're posted. So then you had to move all your stuff from Guelph up to Blind River.
Yeah.
How was that move? Did you find a place to stay before you went to OPC, or was that something that you kind of figured out when you were going through OPC or after?
It was during PPA I was figuring it out. Blind River at the time, I don't know about now, but there wasn't a lot of rentals available at the time. So a friend that I made actually at PPA, he's a constable up in Elliott Lake. He purchased a place and offered to let me crash in a spare room for a couple weeks until I figured out finding a place. And then I was in the process of selling my condo down in Guelph. And once I did that, I started looking on the market for a place up in Blind River, and I was fortunate enough to find a nice place pretty quickly. So I stayed with him for about 3 weeks, and then I stayed with another constable in Blind River for a few weeks while I was waiting for the transition, and then moved into my own place. But the moving process with the OPP was amazing. Like they took care of everything. It's all paid for. Movers showed up right on time and moved all my stuff in. There's no issues whatsoever. So I was very impressed with the OPP of how well it was organized and handled, because it worked timing wise. I couldn't have asked for better. So
Awesome. So you utilized the relocation unit
Yep.
when you were hired. That's awesome. So we have tons of questions that are coming up here on the side. It looks like there's a lot of questions about what it was like at OPC. Was it more like university style learning where you're just studying from a book, lectures, or was it more a college style, high school kind of hands-on learning? I know when I went through, it was more some of the classes you were sitting in a classroom and you were studying, obviously, the criminal code, things like that, but then you do scenario-based learning. Was it the same when you went through as well?
Yeah, it was the same. So there is a lot of lectures in class, but there's just as much hands-on learning, where you'll do an HTA class, and then you're actually going out and using it in a practical sense. Same thing with driving. We'd have the what's it called now? They're police.
Like the track? Yeah.
Yeah. They teach you in class of how to properly drive and use a police cruiser, and then you go on the track and use it practically. So it was, overall, I'd say it's a good half and half, where you're in class learning, and that stuff's just as important as the hands-on. Like it's what builds you up to be ready for the job. So
Awesome. So there's some other questions. What kinds of career paths or specialized units are unique to the OPP? So the OPP has an large amount of different specialized units. We do have some airplanes, we have some helicopters, we have our emergency response team, TRUE team, underwater search and rescue team. We've so many different units within the OPP and specialized units that you can get involved in. But we say that you should, first of all, be hired on as a constable, learn how to do your job effectively, work on the road. After you pass probation, then it's a great time to start getting courses if they're available wherever you are, and then apply to a specialty down the road. Most of the time for a specialty unit, it'll be anywhere from 3 to 5 years before you can get involved in it. But that's also depending on where you get posted. So a place like Blind River, they might need breath techs, or they might need the drug recognition officers, or they might need members of the emergency response teams earlier than, say, a detachment down in Southern Ontario in the GTA that might have officers that have been waiting for those courses for a while. It just depends on where you are, if there's going to be openings at the time. Have you had a chance to do any extra learning since OPC? Have you got on any courses yet, Dylan?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I'm planning to. I'm hoping to get a couple soon, but yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, they always say it takes 1 to 3 years to start feeling comfortable. Especially in specific detachments, you're not going to get the same call every day. So you're not going to get really good at those calls until you do them a few times. So it's good to get that basic knowledge of policing and how to deal with different calls before you start specializing.
Absolutely.
Is there any age limit on hiring? There's a minimum age of 18. There's no limit. Again, there's lots of people that are coming in and it's a second or third career for them. Dylan, you said that you were a corrections officer and you did security before that. So really a corrections officer, that would have been a first career, I guess, a main career for you out of college?
No, it was after college. I did security for a few years and then got hired on with corrections. So it's my mid-20s. Yeah.
Okay. And so you brought so many special skills with you to this career that have helped you along the way, helped you probably in your training, not just your PVO. I don't know if as a corrections officer you ever drove vehicles there, but also with arresting people, handcuffing people, you already had the knowledge how to search people, that kind of stuff. You already had that knowledge coming in. So I'm assuming that when you went through and you were doing your defensive tactics, that was something that was easy for you because you'd already done it so many times.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's.
Okay. Somebody's asking if you listed Blind River on your application or did they just offer it to you?
So I listed 6 detachments that were close by, not like within a 3-hour radius of Guelph, but I wasn't too picky. I was just kind of wanted to be closer to family. And then they asked me, I think it was during the interview process, if I'd be willing to relocate north, and I was like, absolutely. Like, why not? It's a good opportunity, and like you've already said, you get quicker opportunities at getting courses and learning. And progressing in your career. So I listed Blind River as I think it was first or second for my northern detachments. So, and I was extremely happy to get it. So.
Awesome. Do you live on campus while you're at OPC and PPA? Yes, absolutely you do. I know that Constable Young was talking about how he was living in a pod. So you're living in kind of like an upstairs, downstairs apartment. You've got your own room. You don't have a roommate when you're at OPC. But when you go to PPA, I know that I had a roommate when I was there. Did you have a roommate when you were at PPA? Or are they all bunk beds?
Yeah, it's still bunk beds there. So it's a bit of an adjustment, but it's fun, and it goes by so quick. You'll miss it when you leave. So.
Yeah, so when you're at OPC and at the Provincial Police Academy, your food is paid for. You are served at a cafeteria, so you don't have to worry about paying for that while you're there, as well as you're staying there, your accommodations, and you're getting paid by the OPP because you are an employee at that time. So it's a great thing. It's a great time to apply. We're hiring over 100 people every 3 months. So we do now have 4 intakes. So if you've ever thought about it, now's the time to apply. OPC right now, you don't have to pay to go there. I know that a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, people were paying to go to the Ontario Police College, but right now it is free to go to. Correct, Dylan?
Yeah, I got in at a good time for sure. Saved $15,000. So
Yeah, for sure. Just looking at some more questions. I don't know if you can see some questions at the side. If there's any ones that you want to answer, you can go ahead. Okay. Does a 2-year Police Foundations program help in the administration or admissions to OPP? Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at 10 areas of assessment when we look at your application. There's no secrets here. Look at our Reach series on YouTube. We go over all those 10 areas of assessment. It's all over our website, opp.ca/careers. And education is one area that we are looking at. I know that Constable Young spoke about how you have to have 3 learning development educational references that will be spoken to during the background portion of the recruitment process. So we will be speaking to whether it's professors, whether it's high school teachers, whether it's like a boss at your work that's taught you something. We just want to know that you're able to learn consistently and continuously, because with the OPP, things are always changing. It's like with any job, things are consistently changing, and we need you to continuously learn as a police officer. The laws are changing, new things are coming into effect, new computer programs, so we need you to stay on top of those. If you take a 2-year Police Foundations program, you'll learn things like the Highway Traffic Act. You will learn about the Liquor License Act, the Criminal Code of Canada. They will teach you all different things, practical things. You will probably get opportunities to do the prep test, the PIN test, work on your shuttle run time. So you will get lots of opportunities to do these things and continuously learn them before you go to the Provincial Police Academy or get hired on by the OPP. So that will help you throughout the process. Make sure that if you do college, university, when you're in high school, that you get good marks, because we will be looking at your marks from high school, college, university, anything that you've taken after high school. So make sure that whatever you do take in college, university, that you do well at it. You don't have to take Police Foundations. I know that Dylan, you spoke about how you did take Police Foundations. That was a program that you took out of high school. Myself, I didn't. I took sport and physical education. So it doesn't matter what you take. Just make sure that you are cognizant that we will be looking at your marks in whatever program you do take. Okay. So somebody's asking about the learning and development references. What happens if you've been out of school for more than 5 years? And they're just asking how you can get some of these references. So I kind of spoke about it. If you are currently employed, it could be somebody that's in your training department. It could be a boss. It could be a coworker. Someone that can vouch and say that you are able to learn new things. Somebody that can speak about your ability to learn. Those are the people that we want to talk to, because we're going to be asking, or the backgrounders will be asking them questions about you, and they have to be able to speak to those questions that they're asking. Do references need to be from 9 different people? Preferably, yes. We would like to have 9 different references. When you meet or get to the background stage, that's when we will be reaching out to your references, and we want to just talk to them about you. So we don't want to talk to your parents, so it can't be mom or dad or a family member. We're looking for, it can be a friend, it can be a coworker, it can be a teacher, but not a family member. What are some of the most important attributes an OPP recruiter looks for in someone? So again, we're looking at those 10 areas of assessment. We are looking at your maturity. We are looking at who you are. Are you a good person? Would you be a good role model in your community? How are you getting involved in your community? Before I applied, I was volunteering with the Special Olympics down in Southern Ontario. I helped out with a baseball team that they had locally, as well as I was coaching little kids soccer team. So I was getting involved in my community, and those are the kinds of things that we're looking at when we're looking at your application. So make sure that even if it's just one event you're helping at, it doesn't have to be something formal. It could be there's a run in your community. You're going to go and hand out water at this local run. That's great community service. That's getting involved in your community and being a good person and being seen as a leader in your community too. So Dylan, when you were preparing your application and getting ready to apply, did you have any community service you were getting involved in
Yeah, I
your
did.
area?
I had been coaching minor hockey for, I think, just coming up on 3 years at the time. And then I had some previous volunteering experience before that. I think a couple hockey camps and stuff like that. So that was the bulk of my volunteering.
Awesome. I know that that's huge. Communities are always looking for people to help out with the youth sports, whether it's soccer, basketball, hockey. They're in dire need of people to help out, even if it's just to hold up kids that can't skate on the ice. Sometimes that's all they need, or just tie up skates. That's huge. So there's plenty of opportunities. I have people that tell me I don't know where to volunteer in my community. There's so many options. Go to the local rink and say, hey, what's the local hockey association? I'm looking to help out. Go to one of the public schools and ask how to get involved. Go to an old age home. Ask if you can come in and assist at somehow. Go talk to people when they're on their coffee break or when they're having their lunch hour. There's plenty of opportunities that some people just don't really think of, and they're looking for directions. So they're just reach out to your local athletic associations or schools, and I'm sure they'll be able to point you in the right direction. So being from Guelph, and I was from Burlington growing up. I know myself, the reason I applied to the OPP was because I wanted to go north. I fell in love with the north when I went to university up in Sudbury, and I realized this is where I wanted to live. For you, you had mentioned that you applied to the OPP, you applied to different locations and detachments that were around where you were currently living. Why didn't you apply to a municipal service around your area? Why the OPP? I know you mentioned the reputation, but was there any other reason why you applied to the OPP versus a municipal service?
I think reputation was a big one for sure. And then just as well as the OPP, my uncle was a sergeant with the OPP for 30 years. And just speaking with him about it, just the amount of opportunities and just the professionalism as well. Those were the main two key points for me that I took away from my conversations with him. But it was, the amount of opportunities you have that you can go anywhere in this province. And if you're willing to work hard enough, you can do anything in this organization. And there's no limit when it comes to working for the OPP. So I think that was a major reason. I had applied to municipal years ago along with the OPP, and I was unsuccessful. It took me, I think I started when I was about 21. I'm 29 now. So it took me 8 years. But originally when I first started applying straight out of college, I applied to the OPP once or twice. I applied to a couple of municipal services in my area once or twice, and I didn't have any success. I took a couple years off from applying and just worked on my volunteering, my life experience, my work experience, just to make myself that much better, competitive as a candidate, as well as make me a better officer overall. And then when I did finally apply back, it was only to the OPP at that point, and I kind of had it in my mind that this is the only organization I wanted to work for, and the main reason being is the amount of opportunities, as well as just they could send me anywhere, and I kind of like the idea of that, of actually, okay, you're going to Blind River, and I was like, okay, cool, you know what I mean? It's a new life experience, and I'm going to meet a bunch of awesome people and coworkers and whatnot along the way. So I think that's what really stood out for me. So this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you shared that you were unsuccessful. You said what, like 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Took you
Took
8
me
years.
about 8 years.
So good for you. trying and then getting some more experience and then reapplying, and that just shows everyone that's listening today that don't get discouraged if for whatever reason you are unsuccessful anywhere in the process. We will send you an email, let you know you're unsuccessful. You do have to wait a year before you reapply, but keep trying. If this is something that you really have a passion for, that you really want to do, don't give up. There's plenty of opportunities to gain lots of experience. Maybe you're lacking in the community service. Maybe you need to take some maybe some more courses just to show that you're able to learn. There's all different, those 10 areas that we are assessing. And if you fall short in one of those, try to have a look at that area and see how you can improve and reapply again. So don't give up. It's a great story of resiliency for sure. So we have some other questions here. The OPP's role in rural and northern and Indigenous communities, and how does it differ from municipal policing? So the OPP, we do assist Indigenous police services. I know that, Dylan, you mentioned when you went through at PPA and at OPC, you were training with some Indigenous police services there. And I know that we do assist some of the services and police services all over the province, and some of them are rural, like I know Pikanchika Police Service, Big Trout Lake. So there's plenty of different Indigenous communities throughout the province that we do assist. We have a program where officers, once they're done probation, are able to apply to go up for 2 weeks and assist in some of the northern Indigenous communities, and police for 2 weeks at a time. So you fly in, you stay there locally, you police for 2 weeks, and then you fly back and you continue working at your regular detachment. So that's a great opportunity to kind of see these some of them are remote Indigenous communities, and assist other police services. So we do have plenty of Indigenous police services that we assist and work with. I know that in Blind River, we have the Mississauga Indigenous community there, and we do assist them, and they assist us on calls for service too. So it's great how we all work together. We train together, and we back each other up at calls for service, which is great. Okay. So somebody's asking about the support systems for mental health, wellness, mentorship, those kinds of things, what are available for officers. So we do have a healthy workplace team. It's province-wide. We do have clinicians that will travel in each different area of the OPP, and they do come and stop by detachments. I know ours was here yesterday. I think it was yesterday she was here and just chatting with some of the officers at the detachment. So it's great to have those supports. We also have other services that are available, just a phone call away, and our mental health clinicians and our healthy workplace team can definitely put you in contact with them. Police officers, we go to a lot of not so fun calls. We see a lot of things. We go to calls where it might be somebody's worst day, maybe somebody's passed away. We've got to give death notifications, things like that. So we see things that could bother us. The great thing about the OPP is that we do have great coverage when it comes to mental health, psychological services, that kind of stuff. So there are tons of coverage, unlimited when it comes to that stuff for our members, and also for family members as well. So that's great. As well as the OPP, our detachments are very supportive when it comes to going to calls for service where it might affect our members. So we do have debriefs, things like that, where we will bring in people to talk to our members and make sure that we all get a chance to kind of talk about how the call went. So that's a great support that the OPP does offer. Okay. Dylan, do you see any questions that are kind of...
I saw somebody asking about military experience and if it would be beneficial to uniform recruitment. I would have to say yes. I know a decent amount of guys that have had prior military experience, whether it's reserve force or regular force, and I'd say it'd be a good experience, as well as good for the application and recruiting process. So
Absolutely, and rank structure too. A lot of our members that have come in that have been part of the CAF, they're used to the rank structure and following that and orders and things like that. So it's great, great experience for sure. And a lot of the time, people will come with experience with firearms too. That's another special skill that they come over with. Um, Somebody's asking if a role is paid, if they can still list it as a volunteer experience in terms of coaching. Yeah, I know a lot of I know a lot of junior teams, things like that. They may pay you to coach a team, or you might get some sort of financial compensation, coverage of like food and hotels, things like that, if you're traveling with teams. But you are volunteering your time. You're not getting paid to actually coach the team. You are getting covered for things like mileage, things like that. So you are volunteering your time. So there's somebody that's asking about a financial question about consumer proposal. So we will be, I know that when Dylan, when you went through, I know when I went through, I had to provide my financial history for a certain amount of time. So we will be looking at your finances. So that will come up in your interview. We ask throughout the whole process that you're honest, you're open, and that you just keep your integrity intact there. So don't stress out about anything like that. Just make sure that you're honest about it. I know that somebody had mentioned here they're going to Blind River. Congratulations on your offer of employment to Blind River. So it looks like, Dylan, you might have a new partner coming to Blind River. They just were
Awesome.
offered.
Congratulations.
So
Looking forward to meeting you.
There you go. So somebody's asking how posting questions work. So when you first apply on your application, you've got to pick 6 places in the province or 6 detachments that you'd like to work. When you are interviewed, we are going to ask you about those areas. Make sure that you tell your interviewer why you've chosen those areas, why you need to go to certain spots. Of course, we know there's situations where you might already have a family, you have children that go to a certain school. Maybe there's been a separation and the other partner lives in this area and you need to be close to a partner. We understand that. Maybe you own a house and you are not planning on moving because you plan to stay in that location for whatever reason. Be open about this. Let us know. We know a happy employee is a good employee. So we want to work with you. We have openings all over the province, and just tell us the reasoning why you've chosen those, and we will try to make something work around that area. Of course, if there's no openings within a 2-hour radius and that's what you want, maybe we'll offer you just outside of that radius. But if you don't accept, that's totally up to you. You can always decline an offer. But we would like you to be pretty open when it comes to those 6 locations, and be open and to kind of look on the outside if needed. So Dylan, you said that Blind River was listed as one of your locations,
Yes.
or you had given them northern locations after the fact, and those
After
were
the fact. So I gave them my top 6 were kind of around North Bay, 3-hour radius to Guelph, mainly just so I could see family. And then they asked me if I'd be willing to move north, and I said absolutely. So and then they gave me 3 options for northern postings. I think I picked Blind River, Elliott Lake, and then third one I can't remember what it was. I think it was like Kenora or something. And they gave me Blind River, and I was extremely happy about it. And it's only 6 hours to family, so it's not too bad of a drive. I can be home there, like home within 5-6 hours to go visit for holidays or whatever. So yeah, it was pretty great.
awesome. Somebody just asked again about getting paid during OPC. Yes, you're paid during your training. The whole time you were there, you were paid, and then once you get to your detachment, your pay just continues. So the minute that you're hired by us and you start your time at the Provincial Police Academy, that's when you start getting paid. So I'm going to look through and find one last question here, and then we'll that'll be it for the day. Dylan, I want to thank you so much for coming and joining us today. I know this is kind of a last minute thing that you were jumping on and joining in, and I know we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, so that's not fun. But we appreciate having somebody join in and answer the questions. I went to OPC almost, I guess it would be almost 16 years now ago, so it's changed a little bit since I went through. I know I'm in recruitment, so I know the recruitment process, but it was much different when I went through because I was handing in paper copies of everything. So we appreciate having someone join in that has recently gone through the process, and thank you for sharing your story and background and kind of being open to this
No
today.
problem at all. Sorry if I wasn't too informative. It just feels like the last year's been a bit of a blur just because it's been quite the change. So hopefully I answered all your questions.
Absolutely. So you know what, I don't see anything else here that I'm going to touch on right now. So again, thank you for joining us, and please tune in. I don't think we're going to have one in 2 weeks because that'll fall on Christmas or close to it. But tune in. We will be posting on our social media our next AMA that we will be having. Again, I wish everyone happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. So